Letter 303 by Charles Lamb. Dated at end, 23 December 1822. Dear Sir, I have been so distracted with business and one thing or other, I have not had a quiet quarter of an hour for epistolary purposes. Christmas too is come, which always puts a rattle into my morning skull. It is a visiting, unquiet, unquackerish season. I get more and more in love with solitude and proportionately hampered with company. I hope you have some holidays at this period. I have one day, Christmas Day, alas, too few to commemorate the season. All work and no play dulls me. Company is not play, but many times hard work. To play is for a man to do what he pleases, or to do nothing, to go about soothing his particular fancies. I have lived to a time of life, to have outlived the good hours, the 9 o'clock suppers with a bright hour or two to clear up in afterwards. Now you cannot get tea before that hour, and then sit gaping, music bothered perhaps, till 12:30 brings up the tray, and what you steal of convivial enjoyment after is heavily paid for in the disquiet of tomorrow's head. I am pleased with your liking John Woodville, and amused with your knowledge of our drama being confined to Shakespeare and Miss Bailey. What a world of fine territory between Land's End and Johnny Grots have you missed traversing. I almost envy you to have so much to read. I feel as if I had read all the books I want to read. Oh, to forget Fielding, Steele, and C, and read 'em new. Can you tell me a likely place where I could pick up cheap Fox's Journal? There are no Quaker circulating libraries. Elwood, too, I must have. I rather grudge that Southey has taken up the history of your people. I am afraid he will put in some levity. I am afraid I am not quite exempt from that fault in certain magazine articles, where I have introduced mention of them. Were they to do again, I would reform them. Why should not you write a poetical account of your old worthies, deducing them from Fox to Woolman? But I remember you did talk of something in that kind, as a counterpart to the ecclesiastical sketches. But would not a poem be more consecutive than a string of sonnets? You have no martyrs quite to the fire, I think, among you, but plenty of heroic confessors, spirit martyrs, lamb lions. Think of it. It would be better than a series of sonnets on eminent bankers. I like a hit at our way of life, though it does well for me, better than anything short of all one's time to one's self, for which alone I rankle with envy at the rich. Books are good, and pictures are good, and money to buy them therefore good, but to buy time? In other words, life. The compliments of the time to you should end my letter. To a friend, I suppose, I must say the sincerity of the season. I hope they both mean the same. With excuses for this hastily penned note, believe me with great respect. 23 Dec. 22. Miss Bailey would be Joanna Bailey, 1762-1851, author of plays on the passions. The copy of Fox's Journal, 1694, which was lent to Lamb, is now in the possession of the Society of Friends. In it is written, this copy of George Fox's Journal, being the earliest edition of that work, the property of John T. Shewell of Ipswich, is lent for 6 months to Charles Lamb, at the request of Samuel Alexander of Needham, Ipswich, 1st Mo 4, 1823. Lamb has added, returned by Charles Lamb within the period, with many thanks to the lender for the very great satisfaction which he has derived from the perusal of it. Southey was meditating a life of George Fox and corresponded with Barton on the subject. He did not write the book. Barton had a plan to provide Wordsworth's ecclesiastical sonnets with a Quaker pendant. He did not carry it out. Here might come an undated and unpublished letter from Lamb to Basil Montagu, which is of little interest except as referring to Miss James, Mary Lamb's nurse. Lamb says that she was one of 4 sisters, daughters of a Welsh clergyman, who all became nurses at Mrs. Warburton's, Hoxton, whither, I imagine, Mary Lamb had often retired. Mrs. Parsons, one of the sisters, became Mary Lamb's nurse when, some time after Lamb's death, she moved to 41 Alpha Road, Mrs. Parsons' house. The late John Halshead, great-nephew of these ladies, says in his interesting book, My Lifetime, that their father was rector of Beguildy, in Shropshire.